Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Tim in Green Bay here to talk Packers tonight. Got an awesome show put together for you guys and gals. We're going to do a deep dive on Christian Watson and his return to the Green Bay Packers. Dude's absolutely on fire. I don't think people understand just how good he's playing at the moment. We'll give you a little bit of game tape from that. We'll also dive into a little Rashawn Gary conversation. Kind of got sparked up. I've been a little negative towards Rashawn Gary the last few days. You guys have heard me. Not overly negative, but just like, hey, man, the writing might be on the wall. Boy, oh, boy. I done a deep dive on that, and I had to take a step back like, okay, maybe the end isn't here yet, and maybe I'm allowing some of the sports media to kind of sway my opinion. We'll tell you why. Josh Jacobs returning to practice. We got footage from him over there getting that work in. Looks like there's a good chance he's going to play on Sunday versus the Vikings. And then we'll end the show, Packers-Vikings PFF preview. We'll show you their lineup against ours and vice versa. Before we get into it, if everybody would, do me a favor. Let's do that YouTube stuff. Hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for making us a part of your evening. I want to be up close, up front, very, very dialed in here. We're not experts. I know, surprise, surprise, right? We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you, breaking down the Packers on a daily basis. So if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. Emilio's like, I'm professional.
But we are pretty decent with a mower. I mean, we're not too shabby.
Yeah, you say that, but when that Velke broke on me earlier this year and it drug me across the yard and I smacked my hip against a tree, those people would probably disagree. Tim, that ever happened to you? It was bad. It was one of those I just had to roll over and sit up and just take it all in for a minute. Like, not sure what the hell just happened. Let's kind of let's diagnose the situation. Okay, yeah, the Velke broke. It turned into an anchor. My feet were hooked in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we got here.
Yeah, because that little front lip, right, Clay? Your toes got stuck, man. It was over.
Oh, no, it was where the pin connects it in the bottom. So it literally dug in. I'm holding on, right? On this walk behind. My feet are hooked in the Velke, and it's like pulling an anchor across that ground. So, yeah,
just the tip, though.
Just the tip. There were some guys working on a roof. I kind of rolled over. They looked at me. They didn't laugh. They looked concerned. They didn't say anything. I nodded, and we both went on about our day. You know what I mean? So all good. But anyway, enough of that. Let's dive into it. Boys, y'all ready to talk some Christian Watson? Tim, you okay with talking a little Christian Watson?
You know I'm always down to talk some Scoot, man. Let's go.
Look, we got Chester Marco fooled in here. Appreciate you, Chester. He says, can I just say how lucky we are to have such an awesome site like this? Thank you so much. That's my burner account right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Corey Murphy is Tim's burner. Jen Wright is my backup burner. 100,000%. Yeah, absolutely.
100% correct. Yeah. Let's go.
And this guy right here has got a crusty mustache. So let's move on.
You're going to get your ass kicked in that.
All right. Christian Watson, man. When he was making his return from the ACL, I'm thinking 4 or 5 weeks we'll have a good idea of, okay, is he going to be the same player? Boy, was I wrong. It was week 1, bang, production. All right, he's got to put some weeks together. Week 2, and I believe that was that his 3rd game since coming back? Am I thinking right? Even though you got some losses in there. Actually, yeah, I think that's right. 4th game, right? Man, it flies by. So you've got some losses in there, but even in those losses, you had some really big plays by Scoot. And it just gives me all the confidence in the world in this offense, especially once Jaden Reed comes back. He wasn't back at practice today, so we'll talk about that and whether or not we're concerned later. But Christian Watson, man, let's just go through a couple of key statistics here. I want to get your take on the stats, and we'll look at a little bit of the tape. One of the things I like to do when a player starts to really stick out is I like to go through and go, okay, where are they lining them up? How are they using him in terms of deployment, right? Is he in the F? Is he the Y? Or is he the Z? Is he the X? Is he in motion? What's he in this offense? And what routes are they running, right? Is it a versatile route tree? Is it something where he's running the same route every time? I just like to kind of compile a little bit of that information. So first things first, though, let's go to PFF. What does PFF think about Christian Watson? Wide receiver ranking. He is 17th in the National Football League right now at 78.6. Guys, that is a true number one wide receiver in terms of grades there, right? His receiving grade 79.1, and you got to love the run blocking grade of 66.2. If you look at this list right here, I think there's maybe one player, two players maybe, that have a higher run blocking grade than Christian Watson. So not only are you getting a guy who can stretch the defense vertically, he can run the climb routes, right? He can line up in the Z. He can come in the wing and give you some extra protection if he wants to chip on his way out. He can help in the run game. He does it all. But PFF ranking him 17th. Let's go around the horn with that real quick. What do y'all think about that ranking from PFF before we get into the other stats?
Not bad for a guy who's played like 3 or 4 games, right? I'll take it. We talk about scoop blocking guys to the water cooler. We talk about Matt LaFleur scheming them up, giving that chip at the line of scrimmage. I'd love to watch that play again for the 100th time, like just great work by him. It's so much more than just catching the ball and running routes. I mean, Scoot is that dude. And, to be top 20 according to PFF and, barely played football this year, I mean, it's a testament to who he is as a player for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming back from that kind of an injury, the way he responded, rehabbed every day, and you can tell that that's the truth. I mean, you can say that, then you see him 9 months later, dude's already playing before Thanksgiving, and crazy. I mean, and like we haven't even gotten to the point where he actually tore his ACL last year. You know what I mean? So like, dude is playing on it in the same. I think he tore it in January, right? So he's playing on it in the same year that he tore it. Yeah,
I love what Jen Wright says here. Comeback player of the year.
Yes.
Should be yes. a great candidate, right? I'm trying to think of what's another player in the league that would kind of qualify for that. Nobody comes to mind for me right off the bat, but boy, oh boy, is he.
I hate to say it, but maybe Aiden Hutchinson, maybe.
Oh, that's a good one, Tim. Yeah,
maybe.
I could see those two being finalists at least at this point right now, right? Yeah. Bates said the same thing. Hutch, maybe. Yeah, that's
whole season too. That's that also helps.
Yeah, you've got to tip your cap to what Aiden Hutchinson's done, man. He just plays the game the right way. The only bad thing about Aiden Hutchinson's game is he's wearing that ugly ass uniform.
Yeah. He's got that Honolulu blue on. That's the only downside. And really, I mean, both guys with a knee leg injury, ahead of schedule, came back, made an impact for their team. I think that's a fair list right now.
Yeah, Jared Reyes in the chat also has another one. Indiana Jones, right? Daniel Jones up in Indianapolis. That's another great one. So, yeah, that's a great pull there as well. So, we're going to stop talking about it. We'll have about 7 or 8 people and go, yeah, Christian All right. So, a couple other key statistics. He leads the Packers in yards per reception, okay, at 19.5 yards per catch. All right. So, he just came back and bang, he's immediately the home run threat. Right. He's 17th in catch rate over expected. So when you go to catch rate over expected in the entire National Football League, he's not 17th. That's a typo. He's 11th in catch rate over expected at 24.5%. So he's right on the border of being top 10 in catch rate over expected. Another awesome statistic there. When you break it down amongst the team, of course, he leads the Packers at a plus 24.5% catch rate over expected. Second is Matthew Golden at 8.8%, then Romeo Dobbs 5.2%, then Dontavion Wicks at 2.6. Now, you don't see people like Malik Heath. We removed some of the noise there in terms of, a minute amount of targets in that regard. So, again, catch rate over expected. We talked about that coming into this season, Emilio. Like, he's going to be down for a while, not going to be able to run routes the way he wants to and refine those skills. He's probably going to be on the jugs machine, and you see it, man. We're going to show a play. I don't know if we'll show that specific play or not, but we highlighted one against the Eagles the other day where, I mean, just the way he's snatching the ball out of the air. And then the catch in double coverage with the game on the line, the game-winning tutter in New York. Let's go, dude.
Yeah, and he knows he probably should have even had that third one too, right? So I think Christian's that guy. He, you see him calling out who called him out on Twitter. Yeah, obviously I got to have that one. But looking at that catch rate over expected, Clay, I mean, the only dude that has any sort of, the same amount of routes that Christian has would be, Kayshon Boutte. That's about it. Everybody else, anybody over 100, he's leading. Even over 20, I mean, he's only a couple back there. He'd be top 5 if you count 20 routes. But how can you count somebody that's taking 7, 8, 9, Christian's he's tearing it up, man. Absolutely.
Definitely.
Like Meatloaf said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? He had 3 contested grabs. You know, he caught 2 of them. 2 of them were tutters.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad for a guy who's played 4 games, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So also air yards per target, right? He's 6th in air yards per target at 22.8. That's the average air yards per target. When they throw the football to him, it's in the air an average of 22.8 yards. That's wild to think about. So he is that deep threat guy. There's no two ways about it. And you got some other guys in there. You see like a McCole Hardman. Notice that one only 1 game played, right? Tyquan Thornton, he's played 10. So everybody else that kind of other than Kelvin Austin. So you could really, to be honest with you, man, looking at those numbers right there, you could probably remove, you could definitely remove McCole Hardman. So really he'd be 5th if you went kind of a minute amount of opportunities there as well. So again, just continuing to be that guy right now. Let's shift gears and talk about his top plays of 2025 so far. Let's go to Pittsburgh first, okay? And we'll do these rapid fire. We're not going to sit on it for too long. So let's just let's kind of show you guys what we got here. Maybe I can widen that out a little bit. Let's see if does that help? Oh, looky here, boys. I think we might be on to something.
You won't. Come on.
You won't. You won't. Yeah, we'll get there in a second. So we got to be careful. Actually, that's good enough. You guys will get the gist. And if you're in a Patreon group, you've already got this anyway, right? So, all right, first play at Pittsburgh. This is a 2nd and 2. He lines up in the Z nasty spot, going to run a comeback route for 19 yards. Just roll the tape. You see him at the bottom of the screen, right? Z nasty. Going to go out, press the corner. Little comeback route, not the crispest route, but boy, the contested catch, putting his body, boxing out, absolutely awesome. Here's a better view of the catch itself. Just a great job, right? Boxing out that defender just like as if you're playing basketball there, man.
Was that Porter Jr.? Who is that on him?
I think it may have been Tim. I'm not 100% sure, though.
I was just going to say, pretty good coverage by a DB right there against a dynamic guy like Scoot. And then, Scoot just making a play. Right there.
And Porter's got that length on him too, right, Tim? He's got those long arms. He's kind of that man on, give my hands on him kind of guy.
Yep.
All right, next, let's go back to Pittsburgh once more. 3rd and 7. Once again, he's in the Z right. This time he's Z wide right. Okay, so he's outside of the numbers. Not quite a Baylor split, but Z wide right.
Shocking, they're playing soft on him too. Big surprise.
It's funny, too, even though they're playing soft, he still hits a 33-yard post on him right here. The thing I love about this play is you can tell, well, first of all, you see Jordan. He's looking at Christian. He's changing it up right now. He's doing a check with me. Hey, give me a post. And I love that Jordan recognizes where the coverage is at. Yep. And Scoot, he knows Scoot is going to work to the open space in the coverage. Just roll the tape. So you're going to see him. He checked with him. He's going to run a post. But watch how he almost turns it into a climb right here. Just great job. Once again, boxing out, protecting the football, making sure you bring down that possession catch. Great pass protection there from Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love, a dime on the run, drops it in the bucket. Just absolutely. Yeah. So not only are you seeing a different route in a post from the Z right spot out wide, right, for 33 yards, but you're also seeing the quarterback trusting him, going with a check with me. Something we didn't talk about going into this whole segment, or as we started the segment, is Christian has a 110% grab of this playbook, this offense. He knows everything that Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur want to do, so everything is on the table, right? Christian's been in this offense for so long now that you just absolutely love that that's the case.
Nothing like dragging the DB to the deep third and still getting the completion, right?
Yeah, and literally a defender in front of you, a defender behind you, boxing out, making the catch. Don't try to get too cute. Don't try to catch it and get yak. Just possess the catch. You knew exactly what was on the line there. Next play, back to Pittsburgh again. 1st and 10. This time he's in a nasty Z right, okay? So he's in that nasty split, playing Z again, all right? And now he's going to shift into the wing, right? We've talked about that. Going to give you a little climb route here. Once again, finding the open space, possession catch, both hands. Protect the football. Make sure they don't knock it out before you can make a football move. Emilio, I know you like to hit that aggressive catch all the time, but every now and then you got to hold down the X button because it's PlayStation and just get that position catch.
Yeah, everybody on Xbox, the smart people, A is the button you're going to want to hold to make sure you don't get cracked and drop the ball.
Exactly. So there you're seeing a climb route out of a nasty Z shift to wing right. Okay.
Yep.
Moving along, Tim, this time Carolina. And I know we lost this game, but this is a 3rd and 12. This time he's playing F. So if you guys are wondering what F is, it's essentially the slot receiver in Matt LaFleur's offense that typically moves around a lot. In this case, you'll notice you're in a tight end left. Okay, so you're in a strong left. So that would make the inside receiver would be your F receiver. The outside receiver is on the tight end side, opposite or on the same side as the tight end and off the line of scrimmage. That makes him the Z. Therefore, Christian Watson's actually playing F here. You got Romeo Dobbs, Mr. Guardian Cat, at the boundary X on this snap. And what he's going to do is play F left. This is going to be another climb route. You're seeing a little bit of reoccurrence here, right? This one for 52 yards. Let's watch Scoot work here in the old throwback unis. So ball snapped. Get that inside leverage, a little bit vertical. Now stretch it out. Beautiful climb route in double coverage, going up, high point in the ball. Tim, this is what he did. This looks almost identical to the New York Giants catch, although it's it just the way he positions his body to make this grab is awesome.
This is why Jordan trusts him in these situations, right? Help over the top, double covered, whatever. Throw it up there, scoot down there somewhere. He's going to make a play, right?
Definitely.
And he almost always has the size matchup.
Yeah.
Pretty much against every competition. How often do you see a 6'4" corner? No.
Right.
And then the speed alongside.
And if you do see a 6'4" corner, he ain't running with Scoot.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Love this comment from Doug in the chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Watson scored a 48 on the Wonderlic. Aaron Rodgers got a 45. Scoot smart ASF. You guys, I think y'all know what that means.
Here's the guy.
Score at home. That's wild, man. And again, it doesn't always translate on the field like, okay, that means he's going to be an extremely smart football player. But more times, a large majority of the time, if you score high on that Wonderlic, it's going to we're watching Thursday Night Prime right now, right? Because we got the Bills and the Texans about to kick off. Fitzpatrick, right? Fitzmagic, as they called him. He was a backup quarterback in the league forever. Wasn't the most talented guy. I'm pretty sure he damn sure he may have aced. He damn near.
He had the highest Wonderlic score ever, if I'm not mistaken.
And when you watch him play football, or when you watch his tape, you go, okay, he doesn't have crazy arm strength. He's not extremely accurate, right? How was he able to stay in the league for so long? Because he can grab an offense and get to the right answer against any defense in the league quicker because of the Wonderlic score, right? Yep. And again, sometimes it don't translate. Most of the time it does. That's just another example of a guy that scored extremely high on it for sure. So now let me give you another example of one that doesn't matter. I think Brett Favre scored kind of low on it, right? Because Aaron Rodgers gave him hell when he first came in to the Packers, making fun of his Wonderlic score. That was something that happened behind the scenes, poking at him a little bit, right? But Chester Marco says Watson works for NASA in the offseason. There you go. Mapping out that flat earth. You know what I'm saying? All right, next, here we go.
Donovan Schilling. My wife calls me Wonderlic.
Easy. This is a family program. All right, next play. Philadelphia at Lambeau Field, right? 1st and 10. We're going to line up once again in the Z wing, okay? And some people would say that's not quite wing. He's not in between the guard and the tackle. This is close enough for me. I'm always going to refer to this as that wing. And here he's going to run a crosser. Notice I didn't say climb. I kind of feel like the crosser route is more of that mid-range. The climb, you're kind of climbing up the field trying to find the soft spot, right? Which is what we've seen up at this point. This could be a 20-yard gain against the reigning Super Bowl champions. Let's watch him work here out of that semi-wing. Emilio, would you call that the wing? Yeah. Or would you just say, would you? Okay.
Yeah.
I know some people would, and some people would go, no, it's just a nasty split. He's playing off. But
I think also kind of the way his stance is too. Like hands on the hip or hands on the knees is a different look.
Yeah. All right, let's watch him work here after the motion. Look at him climb through. Good separate. Just you see him throw that defender off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so underappreciated. Watch him right here, guys. Just like a little boy. Get off me, little boy.
That's a linebacker, isn't it? Or, no, that's Cooper DeJean.
Is that Cooper? Cooper's pretty stout for his size, man. And again,
what am I supposed to do, Coach? Come on now. He's got 20 pounds on me, just throwing me around the yard.
And you could even see, if you slow it down, you can see as Christian got to the stem of his route and started to break it off and run that crosser, Cooper grabs the outside of his shoulder pad and pulls his jersey. It didn't even matter. That's a grown-ass man, right? That's new dad strength right there.
Absolutely.
To Emilio's point, too, hands on the knees pre-snap, maybe DeJean's thinking, like, is he run blocking here?
Tim still slipped through the line, too.
Yep. By the time you recognize it, it's too late. And then you got Mr. Late Hands Scoop making a grab.
Because he sells the blocks all the time. If he wasn't out there putting his nose in there and actually engaging in the block, that sell's never going to happen leaking through.
It's so true. I mean, if you think he's just running 9 routes all day, I mean, what are you going to do, right? But the fact that this guy can, put somebody in the dirt or block them to the water cooler makes all the difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's Caldwell Corner in the house. Good to see you, buddy. He says, can't wait for Watson, Reed, Golden, Dobbs all healthy. Oh, my gosh, it's going to be awesome. And as somebody pointed out, Coach Lynn pointed out, Golden ran a route from that spot last week, right? You can see Golden is just about got a complete grab of the playbook. You can tell they'll put him at F, they'll put him at X now. They've used him at Z predominantly with Christian Watson out, so now you're seeing them mix and match. It's going to be awesome to see them get more, a little more experience at different spots. United Bates says, results I'm seeing for the Wonderlic. Christian Watson was 38 of 50, Rodgers 35 of 50, Favre 22 of 50, Fitzmagic 48 out of 50. Average players, NFL player scores around 20, and the quarterback average is 26. You're going, how the hell Favre lasts so long? He got a cannon attached to his right shoulder.
And he ran that wishbone back in high school,
Right. Had that in the back pocket too. So thank you for that info, Bates. We appreciate you, buddy. That's our Jamie, if you guys are wondering. So
behind the scenes.
Next play at the Giants, 3rd and 1. This is only a 1-yard touchdown right here, guys, but he's in the nasty right. Okay. He's going to run a spot route, and this is the Malik Willis laser to him. A spot route. He's basically just going to cut, almost make it look like a skinny post and sit down as Rome flashes across his face. Let's watch it. And the big thing here, nothing fancy about the route. He's just going to snatch this thing away from a defender. Great hands catch, great throw by Malik. This is what we were talking about, man. We were expecting his hands to be better because that's probably he was limited on what he could work on. He could definitely work on the jugs. And, man, you just see it paying off. What a hell of a grab right there.
Yeah. The strength to work back, show the quarterback your numbers, show him your hands. That's what you're trying to do. And then snatch it. Pull that tater right away from that man. Says, no, sir.
That's right. No tater.
Look at him pre-snap there, too. Same thing. Kind of like body language is like, I'm just running a decoy. Don't worry about me. Mm-hmm. They send one guy after him. Look what happens.
Yeah. A little sprint right option look. All right, next play, final one, I believe here. At the Giants, 2nd and 7. He's in a Z nasty right. This is what we call a non-fade, okay? A non-route is a go route. A non-fade, you're fading outside. This was that slot fade call, 17-yard game-winning touchdown, essentially. So you see him lined up in the 2. They're going with the Y flex outside of him. This is also called a Haas concept. The 1, which is the tight end, will run a curl, and the 2 will run a go. In this case, we call it slot fade over Haas because it's going to be a fade route, a non-fade out of the slot position. Even though he's not technically the F, you would consider that a slot fade concept. Let's watch him work here. This is just unbelievable, the hands catch here. And the throw by Jordan, bad snap, corral it in, no laces, tight spiral, into the wind. Just absolutely gorgeous, man. And the same similar catch that we just talked about earlier. Watch him fade away, protect the football, bang, late hands, everything.
That's like an alley-oop play in basketball, right? Yeah. The pass comes a little high, and we just trust our guy and throw it up there for him. Mm-hmm. I mean, bad snap from Jordan, zero hesitation. He's not looking at any other read but scoop. He's throwing that ball to an area, and Christian going up, diamond style, making the catch. I love it.
Yep. Again, with the mismatch, size differentials key down there in the red zone too.
Yeah, I think it's been a pleasant surprise that he's just come back and hit the ground running. There's going to be ups and downs. We talk about this with every player, right? Every team in the league. There's going to be, right now, Christian is playing up here, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be times that he kind of comes back down to earth a little bit, but you want to see that stair-step process to where we're looking up at the end of the year and going, you know what? We got to throw him the checkbook. We've got to. We'll have to wait one calendar year from the extension he just signed. It's so awesome that he's under contract this year and next year, right? And now you can kind of reassess and get him under contract long-term if the health holds up and all that. So I also tip my cap to him for that. The fact that I feel like he took way less money than, he could have held their feet to the fire. He could have been behind the scenes going, you know what? I know where my rehab is. I know where my health is. I'm going to bet on myself, go out here, ball out this year, hit free agency, get paid, and go to a warm client, beautiful place. No, he wanted to be a Green Bay Packer. He signed a very team-friendly deal. I think they're going to reward him just like they have other people in the past too.
Pay that man his money.
Absolutely.
If you guys are watching this video later, let us know in the comments what you think about Christian Watson. Would you consider him a top 10 receiver, top 15? Is he top 20? Is he a true number one? We want to know your opinion on Christian Watson and what you think he may finish with this season in terms of statistics, and will he keep this pace going? Also, make sure you hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. Jason Y with the super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, what do you guys think are the chances?
Chances.
Okay. Are the chances we re-sign Malik Willis as a backup quarterback? I don't know what the chances are, Jason, but I wish they'd do it. We were vocal
done now.
Yeah.
We were very vocal about it last year. Like, man, what would you be willing to pay? I would look around the league and go, all right, which, reasonable backup quarterback is getting paid the most? I'm not talking about a bad contract to Kirk Cousins, okay? We're talking about like, okay, this is the true number 2 backup quarterback. What would you be willing to pay? You could probably skate by with a little lesser cap hit if you give a little more guaranteed money. I'm all about it, man. What are the chances? I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Do you think it would be breaking precedent, right? Because I don't think Goody, since he's been here, has paid, more than what, $2 or $3 million for a backup. Maybe even not that much, to be honest.
I'll tell you this, though. If there's a backup in the NFL that's going to take a little less money, it's Malik Willis. I mean, that's a team guy. That's he's not a me guy. But at the end of the day, it's a business, right? And I'm sure there is more than a handful or two of teams in the NFL that would give him well over $2-3 million a year, to be QB2 or QB1 where they're at.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what if he got a shot at the Raiders? What if he could get a shot? Really, a couple of places would probably consider, taking a shot at him. I think the Browns, you could get a shot there. There's a bunch of different places where he could end up, which means, that price is probably going to go up and up. I like Clay and Tim were saying, if we could just get him taken care of, bring him in. The thing is when maybe Goody looks at it saying, hey, he has saved us a couple of times. He won 2 games for us. He came in there. Like, it's so smooth to be able to just keep our head down and keep moving. He's been here for a year now. He kind of knows the system. How often are we going to want to change that out? We had Clifford here for 3 or 4 years, and, the big red dog had to go, and we didn't get anything out of that. We've gotten something out of this draft pick that you gave up. All those things come into play.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you for the super chat there, Jason. Appreciate you, buddy. And I know there's a lot of chatter in there about that question. Before we move along, just want to hit a couple of them. Caldwell Corner said, I'd love for Malik to be able to go start somewhere and have success, though. He's earned the opportunity. That's very true. And here's the thing, Carson. Like, he can do that, right? He's a free agent this year. He can test the market. And what I'm saying is if a team comes out and says, you know what, we don't quite see Malik as a starter, we will be willing to give you, a $10 million per year time, 3 years, $10 million, right? Good backup money, right? And let's say they say 3 years, $30 million with $10 million guaranteed. What if the Packers came back and said, we'll give you $3 million, $24 million, or three years, $24 million, and we'll guarantee $15 million of it, right?
He's signing it.
Might be a little more appealing for him, right? And man, what better job?
Yep. And remember, Malik's no stranger to being QB1 for a dumpster fire organization, right? So, like, the idea that he wants to go back to another questionable type of contender is, minimal. So, I would say maybe 25-30% chance we get Malik back next year, maybe a little better, right?
That'd be great. Chester in the chat says backup in Green Bay is way better than being a starter in Cleveland. I agree.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So there you go. A little bonus Malik Willis talk. Again, thank you for that super chat, Jason. All right, let's shift gears and talk a little Rashawn Gary. Now, listen, I felt a little bit like Fredo on The Godfather here. You know what I'm saying? I'm smart. I can do things. I've turned my back on Rashawn Gary the last few weeks a little bit. You guys know I am the president of the Rashawn Gary fan club. And I had a couple people reach out, one of which I should have had this pulled up, to be honest with you. Somebody reached out to me on Patreon, and we had a little conversation. I won't put it on the screen, but I'll see if I can find it real quick and read it to you guys. Because it was an interesting little conversation. he it just brought up some stuff about Rashawn Gary, and it got me thinking like, okay, I need to dive into this because I've been kind of down on Gary, like he's kind of disappeared the last few weeks, this and that. Now, why do we think that he's disappeared? It's because he's not in the sack column, right?
Yeah.
This is what our buddy Zach in the Patreon group said. I know you're a Rashawn Gary supporter. How do you feel about Matt Schneidman's tweet? Unless a big turnaround the rest of the season, if they were to post June 1 him, they would save $40 million. I believe he will be gone. I said, I actually pointed this out going into the season. It's more about roster modeling to me. I basically said Gary could drop off this year or next year, but regardless, it makes sense to have him back in 2025 this year, obviously. But next year, you can free up $10 million in cap space. And again, we can dive into all the contract ramifications and everything for cut and bake with him. It will free up a lot more money in the future. It's just the more recent one there because the dead cap would accelerate to the current year, therefore only freeing up roughly 10 last I checked. With that being said, you have to prepare for the run defense to drop off unless they replace him with the stud. LVN has been nowhere near Gary in run stops. I'm hoping they restructure Gary's deal and bring him back. But if he doesn't want to, you may have to move on. Of course, if this is just a slump, then Gary is going to finish with 10 plus sacks, and Matt Schneidman will get very quiet on his opinion, which we all would, right? Zach comes back and says, I guess the other concerning thing to me is that his snaps are falling off too. Guys, we've heard this every year. This was my point. Every year we talk about he's not getting many snaps, not getting many snaps. Green Bay, they've always had a very, very high snap share. Have they not?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary is not Max Crosby. He's not going to play 99% of snaps in a game.
And he's not Micah Parsons. Like Micah Parsons is getting like 80% of the snaps on Sunday. That's what Micah does. That's never been what Gary's done or anyone else in Green Bay. They bring in Micah. You pay him. Go look at his check. He better play 80% of the snaps, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's just something else to kind of take into consideration there. So he just pointed out the snaps, right? And I said they're not actually falling off. We all have the same this same conversation every year because the Packers mix and match with guys, right? Like Matt said, playing the hot hand a little bit if you feel like Enigbari is getting some good reps. Here's the other thing that I feel like when Matt said that the other day that Enigbari earned more snaps, what did we see on the tape with 55? Did we see 55 drop, 55 drop, 55 drop?
Yeah.
Again,
it's not a pass rush thing. It's a pass defense thing, I think.
It's schematically you go into that matchup and go, you know what? We want to confuse Jameis Winston. Let's give 55 some more snaps and drop him on fire zone blitzes. Mm-hmm. I think it was more of that, probably a combination of both, to be honest with you, right? That he's playing good football, and although there's no metrics that suggest he's playing that good of football, to be honest with you, not drag Enigbari, it just is what it is, right? I said the Green Bay Packers have 2 pass rushers. As a matter of fact, this is the tweet I put up. I just copied and pasted it for him. So let's throw it up here. I did a deep dive. I was down on Gary, right? And I know a lot of other people are as well, okay? Like Doug says here, I hate the media being so fixed on snap count versus pay. They paid him for how much they use him, but it's a darn long season. Micah is the exception. Completely agree with that comment. Yep. Completely agree, right? Wow. So I went to diving into the numbers because, again, you guys have heard me the last couple of weeks like, yeah, Gary's kind of, I don't know, man. Gary's kind of, fading off a little bit, right? Here's what I came up with, and here's the tweet I put out. The Green Bay Packers have 2 pass rushers ranking top 10 in sacks. Micah Parsons has 8. Rashawn Gary has 7.5. All right. Among those 10 NFL players, Rashawn Gary ranks 5th in run stops. Okay. So of those players that are in the top 10 in the NFL in sacks, he jumps from 10th to 5th in run stops. But wait, there's more. All right. He has 3 more run stops than Micah Parsons does. Now you're probably thinking, okay, that's not a huge difference, but Micah has 75 more snaps than Rashawn Gary. So think of Rashawn Gary's run stop rate compared to Micah's. Again, it's why we wanted Gary on the team with Micah. You've got Gary, who's a great run defender and can get after the quarterback's ass when you need him to. Yep. But you've got Micah, who's a speed rusher, a demon coming off the edge, getting after the quarterback, but doesn't play the run quite as well. I'm not saying he's a bad run defender. I don't want Hafley coming after me.
They call that the old 1-2 punch, We call that the 1-2 punch.
So imagine if you move on from Rashawn Gary next year And let's say he finishes this year with 10 sacks, which he's on pace to blow that out of the water, right?
But he's a grown-ass man now. And
he's also going to have a ton of stops. He's going to lead your team in run stops as well. If you did not have Gary on this defense, that's cool. If that's your argument, if that's your stance, I can respect that. But you can't complain when the run defense dips, and now all of a sudden you don't have those extra sacks that you're getting with Rashawn Gary being opposite of Micah Parsons. Again, I'm not saying Rashawn Gary is an elite pass rusher. I'm not saying that he's the reason that Micah has success or this defense is going. He's this sole purpose, right? What I am saying is you've got a guy who can capitalize when you're not cage rushing. You guys remember 3 weeks ago when I said expect the sacks to slow down because you've got Bryce Young, a mobile quarterback. You've got Jalen Hurts, a mobile quarterback. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be cage rushing and touch spying from time to time to make sure he doesn't run wild. How many times did you see those guys scramble for first downs, right? Maybe one from Bryce Young. I don't even know if Jalen Hurts had one, and you held them to 10 points. So again, man, you can sit here and harp on, oh man, he hasn't had a sack in the last few games. I was doing it too, but I had to check my ego and go, no. Gary's fine. Gary's fine. Again, that doesn't change what may happen in the future if he's not willing to adjust the contract, give a little more guaranteed money, reduce the overall value of the contract to make it a little more palatable. But I want to get your all's take on that because you've seen how I troubleshot this, Emilio. I kind of walked through the process of trying to, okay, am I being too hard on Gary? Am I not being hard enough? How do you see this whole situation?
No, I think you did a great job breaking it down. I think you got to kind of pull the numbers. Obviously, everyone wants to look at sacks. I think you're right. If they both hit double digits, it's going to be a completely different story. Right now, you've got a story because they're not there. You get 1 or 2 against J.J. McCarthy. He's sitting at 9.5, 8.5, whatever it is. I have full faith Rashawn's probably going to break those double digits this year. Same with Micah. I was just pulling up PFF numbers really quickly, but total snap counts, the highest on our team, Xavier McKinney had a 668. So 668 total snaps for X. He's been on the field, I'm pretty sure, for every single snap. Edrin Cooper is actually second with 662. Keyshawn is third at 661. Quay is fourth at 626. Number 5 is Evan Williams at 606. The next closest is Micah Parsons at 509. So 100 snaps less. 100 snaps less, right? The guy below him, Javon Bullard at 476. Who is below him at number 8 would be Rashawn Gary at 425.
So to understand exactly what you're saying, Emilio, remove all the safeties. We know they're on college football. What do? You set them, grind it out, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You're staying on every play, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way it works. DBs, that's how it goes, right? Linebackers, it typically goes that way too.
Yep.
So when you filter out all the noise and you say just defensive linemen, because we know we like that rotation.
Yes, sir.
Who has the most snaps and then the second most snaps?
That would be Micah Parsons would be first at 509. Second would be Rashawn Gary at 425.
Yeah. So they took that information from Sunday and said, the media took it and ran with it and said, whoa, Gary had a low amount of snaps, right? And then Matt comes back and says, well, Enigbare earned snaps. And then we turn on the tape and we see 55 drop. I think it was more schematically. Now, could he be dealing with something behind the scenes? Could it be a fatigue thing? Because Gary's been in the league for a while, even though he's only 27 years old, right? That could be the case too. Tim, it sucks walking that garbage can down to the curb, man. I'm 43. You know what I mean? You get a little older. So,
and here's the other thing we're kind of glossing over. Maybe Matt was right. Maybe Kingsley and Enigbare just earned more snaps, period.
Right. Yeah,
could be. And so the entire thing, they're talking about 84 total snaps as the difference. That's the difference between Rashawn and Micah. Are we that mad at it? Rashawn snaps by game: 47, 43, 44, 43, 40, 47, 43, 41, 38, 39. What's the problem? Just
why didn't they say it the last game, right? Why didn't they say it the last game?
Just because he didn't hit. They had less. Yeah, exactly. He had less last game. Just because he didn't hit 40, everyone's mad.
Who cares? Who cares, right? Gary's production versus snap count way above average. Just like it said in the comment right here. Doug, 74-51, hitting it nail on the head. You're getting 100% balls to the wall every snap. You're getting Bang Gary on the field. Period. Point blank.
Chester in the chat says Gary is just a good, reliable multi-tool. He really is, man.
He's that fuel. He's the M12, M18 fuel version. Absolutely.
And you can see the way that Carrington Valentine was responding to him as they were walking off the field together. They call him G, right? That's his nickname, Big G. So he's a leader in that locker room too, man. Like it's just there's and he, other than the ACL, he's always available. Like, am I wrong there? Does it not seem like he's
not at all, especially since the return from the ACL?
Right.
I mean, when has he missed time?
Yep. Professor Cake says 7.5 sacks through 10 games is pretty good. It's 10th best in the league, right? Like, I just don't.
Let's complain about it though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. When you get a win that's kind of in between, you know, they didn't scrape by the Giants, right? They end up winning by 7 points, and you felt like the Packers were the better team on Sunday, right? Even with losing Josh Jacobs, without your starting center, without Jaden Reed, without Tucker Kraft, even without that, you were the better team. It's like you got to dig in a little bit and try to find a little negative there of, okay, it is funny how it comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
When the offense is struggling, fire Matt LaFleur, right? Now, you get the offense straightened out. When the special team struggles, it's fire Rich Bisaccia. Okay. Okay. When the rest of the special teams is playing pretty good, but the kicker struggles, it's fire Brandon McManus. Right. And now everything kind of comes together other than Haversick, who everybody was calling for. He goes out there and misses a couple kicks. Now it's back to, well, why ain't Rashawn Gary got more snaps? Huh. Like, it's just wild, man. It's why can we enjoy one damn win this year? That's all I ask. Just one. Just one.
So that's exactly it. And just
no.
No, I don't know if you can, Clay. I don't think they're going to let you.
Yeah. Wow. What were you going to say, Amelia? I didn't know.
Sit your butt outside.
3 Chesters.
Yeah. So Chester says, I mean, with those sack and run stop numbers, it's hard to say that Gary doesn't represent really good value. It's why that's the other thing. Well, what is the rest of the NFL thing? His peers ranked him 80th best player in the entire league last year. Offense, defense, special teams.
His peers, not talking head fans, like
the guys who have to line up,
guys who've been in the trenches, lining up against them.
Yeah. So,
and I honestly, I look at Micah as a speed times power kind of guy. I look at Rashawn as a power times speed kind of guy. It's just same thing, different way to get there. Rashawn's just a little bit more, a little bit more meat on the bones. And to Jen right here, this I think Hafley was kind of getting at this point in his presser. She said it's hard to pass rush when teams aren't throwing the ball. That's exactly it. How often are they getting actual attempts? And Hafley was even saying half the time when he's out there, what are the options? How many times? Because in the past 3 weeks, how many times have they run a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 11? You're not getting those opportunities for like a long 5-step drop, deep passing routes, passing combinations. That's not happening. And if he does get a pass rush, okay, it's probably on a play action or something where he was, planning on doing a run stunt. You got to switch when it's not. And all right, now I'm going to rush him. How many opportunities is he actually getting to pass rush?
And all of those, he's fighting through holds that aren't getting flagged.
Oh yeah,
big part of it too. So. All right. So if you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments what you think about Rashawn Gary. Where would you rank him? Do you think he's overvalued, undervalued? Do you want him back in 2026? Maybe slap a tag on him like, okay, here's what I want him back at this price, at this cost per cap hit type thing. Let us know what you think in the comments. It's always cool getting in there and chatting up with you guys and gals after the show. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, that's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour 2, where we're going to talk a little Josh Jacobs update, a little injury report update, and dive into the Packers versus Vikings PFF preview. We'll see you over there.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. Let's get into it, boys. We got some good news today. Good news. And no surprise, this dude's an absolute man bear. Josh Jacobs, I went live earlier because they said he was going to practice in a limited fashion, and we've got the clip here from Bill Huber. Shout out to him on X throwing this video out there. Josh Jacobs catch a little pass out of the backfield. You see no contact, of course, and whatever the media was allowed in to practice for. Let's do it, guys. Let's be those guys that overanalyze everything here. How does he look? They don't look like there's any limitations to me here. Obviously, you want the swelling to go down the knee. They got out there and tested it. My guess is, Emilio, you've had problems with your knee. You tore an ACL. This sounds like, I think they actually said he did have a bone bruise, if I remember correctly. Yep. Somebody had said that earlier. So there's a couple of extra on top of the contusion. But my guess is, Emilio, they wanted to get him out there doing this, and let's see if it swells up tomorrow.
Yeah, because he was talking in his presser about how the swelling had kind of already gone down I think he wanted to say like 50% or 60% of kind of where it was after the game. And it's just one of those things. What I really liked about it was he was talking about, hey, yeah, I busted my knee and it hurt, and I'm still going to be out there. I'm going to fight. That's what happens. He gets out there. He keeps playing. He feels that he can't give his team 100%, even though you're fighting through pain all the time. Right now, his ability to cut, to move, to bend it, all those things he said it was hindering him, and he didn't want to affect the team. So that would be kind of the only thing I think holding him out this week if he does. If that thing doesn't feel at least 90% and I can fight through whatever is there, so really it's that range of mobility with all that swelling. You got to be able to bend the knee completely, and if you can't, I don't want him, to force that. There's no need to force it. You have faith in Emmanuel and Chris Brooks. We can, work around that, get a couple of other looks. Savion might get a carry or two. So like those are the things we can get around that. And I'd rather him, be ready, especially on that quick turnaround. It's just something you got to take into consideration.
Yeah, Tim, how are you seeing this here, man? Do you think he's going to be good to go Sunday? Obviously, it's going to come down to the swelling, but it looks pretty damn good right here, don't he?
No, I was just going to say, like, to Emilio's point, like, it's a pain threshold thing, and I don't think anyone's worried about Josh playing through pain. If anything, you want to keep him under a microscope and make sure that he's truly good to go, because he's going to grit it out and grind it out for his teammates. But I mean, looking at this little half-ass check down from Jordan, we don't get a lot more than this, but looks pretty good to me. I mean, my gut reaction is he's playing on Sunday against the Vikings. But there is a chance you hold him out, right? And have him 100%, because Turkey Day against the Lions, that's a huge game as well. And to Emilio's point again, like, we have faith in E. Wilson and Chris Brooks out there as well. And I think we have enough dynamic play calls in Matt LaFleur's offense that we can create a running game with guys like Savion, with guys like MG, Christian Watson. We can make it happen, and Josh doesn't necessarily have to go. But I think if it were up to him, he's going to play football on Sunday based off of what we're seeing right here.
I like what 2 Oak for this says here. My fantasy team needs Wilson to play. But he's saying shut him down, hold him out till Thanksgiving.
Shut him down. Let's get 125, 2 tutters from Emmanuel Wilson on Sunday. We're all good.
Could you imagine seeing Wilson kind of get that kind of carries, though? If we're still trying to figure out what's going on with Marshawn Lloyd, and you get a full game of E. Wilson as that number one back, I'd love to see it, right?
Yep.
D2 player, let's see what he's got. I know he's got it. I want to see him grind that out. And the other thing, just to Josh's point, he hasn't missed a game since he's been a starter at Green Bay.
Really?
No, he hasn't missed a game. So he's that first time I think he came out of the game was with that Giants this past week. I don't think he's missed a start since he's been here.
That is a crazy stat. You're talking about money well spent. Holy cow.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Especially
that kind of lends credence to the point I was making. It's like, if anything, let's double check and make sure, because this guy's going to want to play, right?
No, Tim, that was through his Jordan sick game. You know what I mean? Like, dude was throwing up before, during, and after.
Yep. Hey, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take 10 carries, 55 yards, and a tutter, and then sit your ass down until next week. We'll take that. Let's go.
Yeah. He's a grown-ass man now. And
Jen Wright says, limit the snaps maybe. I'll be okay with that, right? Like I said earlier on today's show, because you got Detroit coming up on Thanksgiving on a short week. What I said there during the afternoon show was have him ready, right? Go out there, and if you get a crucial 3rd and 2 or whatever, you want to use him on a passing play, walk him out, march him out there, get him a couple snaps. And if you're able to capitalize on a couple of J.J. McCarthy turnovers or something, right, and you go up by 10 points, phase him out a little bit, let Emmanuel Wilson press in, let Chris Brooks press in a little bit. And then if they come back and they make it a 1-score game, bring Jacobs back in, keep him on that snap count as you need him. I think that's probably the best way to handle it, Jen. I think that's a great point.
Scared money don't make money.
That's right. And Joe Pack Joe says, we getting Pert Jacobs? Possible? Ooh, we got the video there, Tim. Hit
My knee.
Love the announcer looking at him like, boy, he's 3 sheets to the wind right now.
El Tafoya, man. Legend right there. Gotta love
she
it.
is awesome. one of the best to ever do it for sure. So, all right, you guys are watching this video back later. I know we did the update earlier. He was going to practice. There was the practice footage. That's what we're hearing about Josh Jacobs. The official was limited participation. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Let us know in the comments as you're watching this back later. Do you want Josh Jacobs to start? Do you think he should be out there this Sunday? Do you want to hold him out to Detroit or maybe a snap count? We want to hear from you. And also hit that like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, the rest of the injury report, and we'll jump into the Minnesota matchup here, boys. It's a little bit small font here. Let's see if we can. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right. This is a CVS receipt. We know 90% of these guys are going to be playing football. Let's start with the did not participates, okay? Carl Brooks, defensive lineman, with the ankle. You got Nate Hobbs, cornerback, with the knee. And then you've got our boy Quay Walker, did not participate both days with the neck injury, okay? So we'll keep an eye on that. Now, the only thing that changed, Josh Jacobs went from did not participate to limited, and then Bo Melton was not on the injury report on Wednesday and then popped up today limited with the shoulder. So I'm not overly concerned with this stuff other than Quay. Quay concerns me a little bit. It kind of feels like he's trending towards not playing, and I really want Quay out there, but also want a healthy Quay out there. Tim, neck injury is nothing to play with. I think there's a decent chance that Quay doesn't play on Sunday, man. How are you seeing this?
And I 150,000 million trillion % agree with that. If Quay's got to miss a game to get back right, I mean, we got 3 divisionals in a row here, and we're getting into the toughest part of our schedule down the stretch. Based on the way Zay McDuffie's been playing, Tyron Hopper in a pinch, I say throw him out there. If Quay needs another week, give it to him. I'd rather have him healthy down the stretch. Stingers are tricky. They're a tricky kind of injury. And I think if he needs another week, give it to him. I would not rush Quay back at all. Yeah, same thing with Carl Brooks with the ankle too, right? Like at least we know what that is now. We were kind of scratching our heads. What's going on with that? I'd hold him out as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Emilio, what Jen says here, Quay's doing better per Matt LaFleur. If he's 100%, put him out there.
Yeah.
What I don't want,
if he's 81%, hold him out.
Yeah. What I don't want is a 90% Quay this week that turns into an 80% Quay next week, and then he misses the third divisional game, and it's progressively getting worse. That makes sense, Emilio?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you're gonna have to run into a battle with one without Quay, you almost kind of would want to lean on this game. You think that you're not looking past the Vikings or taking them lightly at all. You just say, hey, maybe with the quick turnaround, and we would really want him on Thanksgiving against the Lions because we got to stop Gibbs and all that. We know what we're getting with Jonesy and all. And so I think that the best option, if he's hurt, let's sit him out another day. It's all right. We can get moving. Hopper's playing a little better. McDuffie's playing pretty decent this year. And you've got Coop. All right, fine. We can go into nickel. You can lean on Bull, whatever. You could even stay in base. You could stay in kind of that base look when those looks when you pull Evan or Bullard off. When Haffey was talking in like the 2 wide receiver sets, you got to pull one of them off. Maybe you could still keep one of those on, still go 2 backers, and you're still kind of in good shape. Maybe you just lean into nickel a little more.
Yeah, as DJ Schultz said here, Hopper on the loose. Ooh. Coach Lynn says Hopper time. McDuffie been playing pretty damn good football too. Now maybe they see Hopper as that second nickel back, right, and just keep. Yeah. I think the reason McDuffie's playing so well, Tim, is he's playing good in that base 4-3, right? He's kind of found his role, found his niche, and he's played it really, really well. So if you go throwing him in all the nickel sets, maybe that throws him a little off tilt, as where Hopper can come in fresh legs and see what he's got. And there's not been any very, very minute snaps of Hopper this year, right? However, preseason and anytime he's in there, I'm looking at him going, this dude looks like he belongs.
Yeah. Our only gripe with Zay McDuffie's been the coverage assignments, right? And even those are still, I don't care what anyone says. I think he plays coverage as good as you can ask a linebacker of his stature to play coverage, especially down the seam. But yeah, maybe you let him play downhill. Maybe you put him in that Mike spot, green dot, and let him, work on the run fits and, trust your young linebackers, Tyron Hopper, Edrin Cooper, let them be your coverage guys, and let Quay get another week to get that together. I would agree with that.
And the offense can help out too, Tim, right? If you get out to a little bit of a lead, you kind of add to that lead. They're not able to run it as much. You're not worried about the backers having to come up and fill the gaps. Perfect.
Yep.
We can
Amen.
lean a bit more nickel and dime.
Sometimes the best defense is a good offense, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa too. Minnesota Vikings side of the injury report here. Christian Darrisaw was full participation Wednesday. He popped up today and did not participate with a knee injury. Now, I know they've been a little bit banged up. It was my understanding they were finally going to have their 5 that they wanted on the field all year long. They were finally going to get them on the field together this week, if I understood that report correctly. But Christian Darrisaw looks like he took a step back today. Will Fries, their guard, did not participate Wednesday. He's going in the opposite direction. He was limited today with the knee, so he seems to be getting a little better. Jonathan Grenard, their edge defender in that 34 defense, did not participate Wednesday with the shoulder, was limited today, so all 3 of those changed. And, of course, Aaron Jones, full participation with the shoulder. Ryan Kelly, their center with the concussion, full participation. Sounds like he's ready to come out of concussion protocol. He'll be good to go there. So anything you guys want to add to the Vikings side of the injury report before we move on?
Looks like they're all going to play, right?
Yeah.
I mean, other than Darrisaw, maybe, or Darrisaw.
And Darrisaw could kind of be one of those where it's like he's a veteran, all right, look, let's sit you down today and then get you a day rest. If you're already on the injury report, they're not going to say veteran rest. They're just going to continue to use the knee as the excuse. I could see it being that way as well. But, again, we'll get everybody the updated information as we get closer to game day too.
For sure. I think Grenard's the one to really look at, though. Going from DNP to limited, he's probably going to go in. Obviously the best thing the Vikings got going for them is their defense right now. So player to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm. Short list.
Yep.
All right. So there you go. There's the injury report. Let's move along now to the PFF preview. All right. We kind of hit this yesterday. Let's just take a quick glance at the line one more time. It's still at 6.5 points, so it has not moved. Okay. In terms of the money, 57% of the money is on the Vikings plus 6.5. That's changed a lot, is it not, boys? It's getting really, really close to that 50% mark because it was heavy. People were real heavy on the Vikings plus 6.5 last I checked. However, the money line, 82% of the money, 90% of the bets are on the Packers. I love that split. The fact that the money line is heavy on the Green Bay Packers, and the spread is on the Vikings. You're kind of getting a little more of that 50-50 split there. Feel a little bit better about that rather than both of those bets just swaying completely in Green Bay's favor. That's when you find yourself going, the public may be in trouble and we might be in trouble as well. The over-under is still at 41.5 to the best of my knowledge. That has not changed. Let's jump into the preview here. Let's talk our offense, our 11 personnel against their nickel defense. Let's start with the quarterback and the running back here. Jordan Love is your 7th highest graded quarterback at an 84.4. Josh Jacobs at 80.9 if he is indeed going to end up starting there for the Packers. They're showing Fitzpatrick as the starting tight end, but Emilio, we've talked about this, man. It's going to be Wiley in certain spots. It's going to be Fitzpatrick in others. It's going to be Musgrave in certain reps. I feel like Wiley is really earning himself a lot more reps. You're probably going to see him a little bit more than the other guys. At least that's what I want to see until something changes. But again, that's how your quarterback, running back, and tight end looks. Let's talk about what their linebackers look like, since that kind of matches up pretty well with the running back and the tight end. They've got Blake Cashman, 64.3, Wilson with a 59.0, so the 36th and 46th highest graded linebacker core. They do have B-Flow over there as DC, but I kind of like the way we look on the matchup here if Josh Jacobs is a full go, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The interior there's going to be, it kind of always comes down to the trenches. I think this game, again, we really need to kind of run the ball. It just seems like it's something we lean on every week. We need to make it happen. Jordan's got to spin it. But our matchups, they're not bad. You're happy with Tom. Walker's been good this year. Let's see what's up with Ryan, see if he can get squared away, not having to go up against Dexter Lawrence, and see if he's going to be able to hold it down at center there. Morgan, I'm excited for him. Get that number up a little bit, get some more reps. And, Wiley's kind of the Fitzpatrick of last year or the Brooks of the year before, when you kind of come in and then you almost have a niche in a role that we needed you to fill right that time. I'm hoping that he can keep doing it. He's a huge, fullback, whatever he is, tight end and we got to use him.
Yeah, and you can see Musgrave is continuing to struggle with 48.7. He had a lowered snap count last week. Of course, they're not going to use him as that H line him up at you, bring him in at H, and run him like a fullback. That's going to be Wiley's spot, I would imagine. Fitzpatrick can do some of that too, but I think they'll probably continue to press into Fitzpatrick and Wiley moving forward. Let's talk about the trenches here a second, Tim. From left to right at offensive line, let me go back to 11 real quick. I apologize. From left to right, Rasheed Walker, 66.9. Aaron Banks, 59.7. Sean Ryan, 55. Jordan Morgan, 56. Zach Tom, 82. Zach Tom just continues to play damn good football. On their defensive front, Jonathan Grenard, who was upgraded to limited, like you said, Tim, he'll probably go this week, 70.7 on the edge, right? Then you got Hargrave at the nose at 60.7. Redmond in the 3-tech at a 69.7, and then Van Ginkel on the opposite edge at a 63.8. He's dropped off pretty dramatically. It seems like he's had a pretty good career up to this point, right? So, pretty decent when you look at his PFF grades over the course of his career. 58, 79, 61, 72, 91, 71, and now a 63. So he may be trending back down into the 60s, but nonetheless, to me, it looks like Grenard is their best edge rusher, grading out a 70.7 with last year being an 81.1. I believe they went and got him. Was it from Houston or Arizona or somewhere like that? Am I thinking right out of free agency? I believe they signed him.
Yeah, I want to say
Grenard was Cardinals, right?
Might have been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, you actually might be right, Cardinals.
So
one of those two.
That's how their defensive front matches up against our offensive line. Tim, how are you seeing that? Anything you guys want to add? Emilio, get your take on it as well.
Normally, I'm a big fan of let's try and run some outside zone or run off tackle, but I'm looking at this and let's run it between the tackles, man. It's going to be about the run game. And, you look at the backers too. We got Eric Wilson back there. You got to establish a run against Minnesota, but, in the trenches, I'm really Sean Ryan's under a microscope in this game for me. This is going to be the game to really tell me if he's going to be that look at center going forward, with Big E going down with the foot injury and the surgery and all that. I'd like to see some running in between the tackles just to keep that defensive front honest in this game.
Emilio, one thing, and DJ Schultz in the chat, thank you so much, buddy. He confirmed it was Houston.
It was Houston.
I knew it was one of those Southwestern teams, but Emilio, when you look at this, I like our matchup a lot better against this front because there's nobody out there named Dexter Lawrence. Redmond, pretty stout though, right? 75 last year, minimal snaps. This year, 69, not bad, right? 6'2", 291. He was undrafted, it looks like. However, boy, Dexter Lawrence wrecked shop last week. So maybe Sean Ryan can get a little breather this week, not having to go up against a Dexter Lawrence, right?
Mm-hmm. No, that's going to be huge for him because, you saw what happened to Glover. Obviously, it's tough to go against those big guys. Jalen Carter, Dexter Lawrence, same idea, dogs, and that's kind of where they've been the past 2 weeks, right? You go up against two stout interior D linemen. What's going to happen moving forward when you don't have that? Can we still get to your spots? Can you still get to the second level? Are you still able to, to turn them, get that outside leverage? And again, communication, snaps. We got to make sure that exchange is smooth between Jordan. How many times have they actually done it? Repping it out. All these things need to happen for him. Like Tim said, you're kind of under a microscope this week because we need to make sure that we're squared away moving forward. It's not like you have a bunch of other options, but it needs to happen that we know that we can count on him. And I think we can. I think that he's done all the work. He's been through the ups and downs prior to. This is his chance. I think he knows that. I think he's ready to step up and do it. And he's done everything else we've asked him to do when we've called him in earlier this year. So it's just, all right, now you're actually starting. You're going to be there. This is going to be your spot for the foreseeable future. There's not much else to it. So those interior three need to get that chemistry going, and we need to make sure that we can seal that up. If they get jumping, punch them in the stomach. On runs, we need to road grade and protect J Love.
Yeah. And something else worth mentioning, guys, they have the 13th best scoring defense in the league, and they're 8th in yards per play allowed. So they're a solid defense. You got to look a little bit beyond some of the final scores. Obviously, they're turning the ball over like crazy on offense, and that's why you see some of these scores inflated. That's why I like the points per play and the yards per play. But they are 31st in turnover margin. So they're just a turnover machine on offense. And who's to say that they won't protect the football this week? And this could come down to a one possession game, right? The first team to make the mistake loses. But when you look at our wide receivers against their corners, okay, leading the way for the Packers, that Z receiver we highlighted. If you guys didn't see it, go back and watch the video. We'll have it linked to this video and cut up the Christian Watson breakdown. He's our Z receiver predominantly. He can play F as well. He can play X. Just depends on what matchup you want to try to exploit at the time being. But 78.6, he's the 17th highest graded receiver in the league right now. Romeo Dobbs, 68.6. He is the 49th highest graded receiver. They're showing Wicks at a 64.9, 67th highest graded receiver. We know it's going to be Matthew Golden over Wicks. I don't know why they've got him in there like that. I would love to see kind of where Golden's at in that regard, but that's going to be our receivers most likely on the field if everybody comes out healthy. On their cornerback room, you've got Rodgers here, right? Isaiah Rodgers. He, over the course of his career, played pretty good football, 85, 70, 82, 73, but this year he's down a touch at a 65.9. He's a former 6th-round pick out of UMass. And then in the slot, they have got Byron Murphy Jr. Last year, one of these years don't belong, Emilio.
Yep.
You got 48, 64, 58, 66, 58, 73, now back down to a 54, kind of returning to his old form. And then, of course, they have Fabian Monroe, or Moreau, I should say, on the opposite side, former 3rd-round pick out of UCLA. He's, mediocre at best, right? 43, 60, 52, 64, 57, 56, 62, 63, 65. I really like the way we match up against their corners. Their safety room, Harrison Smith's kind of hit the wall this year, boys. Yeah. I mean, hell of a career for my Fighting Irish right there. 84, 55, 87, 85, 75, 91, 79, 88. Now watch this. 88, 74, 77, 68, 68, 67, 55. And they kind of, I don't want to say they begged him, but they the way I understood it, they talked him out of retirement, like, hey, give us one more year. And it seems like he probably should have hung it up. Harrison Smith's not the same player. Doesn't mean he can't have a great game on Sunday, but and then you got Josh Metellus at the other safety spot is what PFF's showing. 43, 66, 85, minimal snaps though, 69, 65, and then a 56. Jordan Love might go out there and have him a game because
I was going to say, does somebody say run the ball and then shot play, shot play, shot play? Let's go.
3-4 tutters.
Emilio, you go back. This is the same Brian Flores defense, right? That scheme that we cut up on New Year's Eve a few years ago, if you'll remember, right? I think it was Thanksgiving. Was it New Year's or Thanksgiving? I'm trying to remember.
It was New Year's.
Was it New Year's? We went out there and Wicks went off in that game, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yeah.
I think it was no. It was Bo Melton. Bo Melton was
the first 100-yard game.
Yeah, I think he was the only receiver that year with a 100-yard game.
Yeah.
It was Bo Melton, right? So there's something to the way Matt LaFleur knows how to attack B-Flow's defense. Now, he got the best of us last year, but I'm liking the way this stacks up, boys. What do y'all think as we wrap up the offense versus their defense?
Yeah, I think I'm happy with the offensive matchup against that. That's probably their strong suit. I think Tim was hitting on that earlier. Obviously, the Vikings need to kind of lean on their veterans. I think they have a lot more over there than they do on the offense. So, yeah, that's fine. But I think our offense can, put some work in on them. I love that we have Watson back. We have some speed. You got Dobbs. Let's do your thing. Matthew Golden, hoping for a breakout there. Get your first touchdown. Get that monkey off your back so that we can kind of just move forward with that. I feel like that's going to be the next talking point. If Rashawn gets the sack or two, it's going to be, Matt LaFleur can't do. Matt LaFleur's, crushing Matthew Golden's career. He, it's never going to work out. So let's nip that in the butt before they can even get writing it. And let's let Matthew have a game.
I'm with it, man. Slot cross, slot fade, Wicks, MG. I don't care. Let's attack. Let's put pressure on, Eric Wilson and Cashman, the backers, and of course Murphy Jr. in the slot there. And then, when we get a good look, take that shot play, man. Because, I'm not going to talk any crap about Harrison Smith. I mean, that guy is, even past his prime, you have to consider him back there in the secondary just for the FBI and experience alone. But that being said, I'd like to test those safeties on the deep shots. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit on at least one or two of those in this game.
Yeah, and again, this is just PFF grade. So when you cross-check everything, Their yards per play looks pretty good. They're top 10 in yards per play. All right, let's cross-check that with EPA per drop back allowed on defense, right? Passing defense. They're legit top 10, borderline top 5. They're right around the top 5. Looks like they're about the 6th or 7th mark here at just an even 0 EPA per drop back. When you look at the top of defense they run, they're playing cover 2 zone the majority of the time. That screams seam routes. Now, Tampa 2 can be involved with that, right? So think seam routes, what we call attacking the base and attacking the bunkers, right? Hole shots on the sideline, seam routes to attack normal cover 2. If they're in Tampa 2, what do you want to do? You want to make sure that you've got the 3 stretching the mic down the seam and then bring a dig on the other side, right? To kind of, you clear that space out, you take the dig. If the mic sits on the dig, you hammer the seam, right? You can also throw some smash concepts in and attack a corner route with a sit underneath. You can go slot fade, like Tim said, if you've got a 3-by-1 set, have the number 2 run the 9 fade, have the 1 sit, kind of giving you that Haas effect, and then attack with a climb or a post, a skinny post down the seam there. You want to flood those zones. Now, if they're in cover 2 the majority of the time, that's how you would attack that, right? Their second most run defense, it looks like, is a cover 6 defense. So they're going to show you a little cover 2, then quarter, half. You got to be careful because you could throw right into the teeth of the defense if your quarterback misreads that. You got to make sure you identify the half side and the quarter side if you're going to approach it that way. And then 13% of the time, they're actually in a quarters coverage. They do run cover 1 man 12% of the snaps. They're still showing that 0 blitz, that B-flow effect, right? 6% of the time, they're running 0 blitz, and they're actually in 2-man under 4% of the time. I would imagine that's 3rd and long situations there. So
cover 3, 19% as well. So watch for the sugar. You know, they may use a little pre-snap sugar on you.
It's pretty wild to see how much they've pressed into cover 2. That's what kind of catches me off guard. Now, I could be misremembering. Remember that number, Emilio, 26% cover 2 zone, 19 cover 3. Got it? Let's go to last year now. Last year, the Vikings were 25% cover 3, 24% cover 2, 18% quarters. So they flipped those a little bit. They were a lot more even last year, cover 3 to cover 2, right? So that's what's changed this year. So
leaning on cover 2 just a little bit more. Just that shell look really is what it comes down to. You got the 2 at the top, could be 4, could be 2, could be cover 2 man, and you just kind of get that look.
Make sure your quarterback has to read post snap, right? That's the name of the game there. And I think Jordan's seeing the field a lot better last week than he was the week before. And if they want to show those shell looks, like Tim started off the conversation with, hammer the rock a little bit, man. Soften them up. Get them to spin that spur into the box a little bit. Now you can kind of get them on their heels and start attacking through the air a little bit. So, all right. So there you go. There's the early PFF preview. Again, that's our offense against their defense. So what we'll do, since we're kind of out of time, we're winding down here, we will make sure that we hit the defense, our defense against their offense on tomorrow's show. Okay, so we'll break that down. Then, is there anything else you guys want to hit on in terms of our offense versus their defense before we go into the giveaway here? Anything else? I mean, anything at all that's on your all's mind. And if you guys are watching this video back later, make sure you let us know in the comments what you think about how our offense matches up against their defense. Let us know in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you don't miss any of the moments that we do go live here on PTA. Anything else y'all want to add to that conversation that I might be missing?
No, I think we covered it pretty well. We got some offensive threats that need to take advantage of that secondary. I think you got the physical mismatch with Christian Watson. You get a couple of those to break. Matthew Golden has 50 to 80 yard game and get him a touchdown. I would be super stoked about that. Let Jordan get 3 to 4 touchdowns, and we'll just move on to the next week. Thanksgiving Day, Clayton taking a nap before the game's even over.
Falling asleep with a plate on his belly on the couch, right?
No show because he's just out like a light.
And
I like that point, though. Big shout out MG, man. I think we're going to get our first Matthew Golden tutter on Sunday. Shout out my brother from another mother. Tony is going to be at the game. He's coming up for the Vikings game. He's going to be there. So a little late belated salute to service. I hope he gets to see a Matthew Golden touchdown in person at 1265. It'll be awesome.
That's awesome. I'll tell you this, man. Y'all start mentioning Thanksgiving. It's that time of year for my my announcement. I don't even know if it's an announcement anymore. I think it's just this is that hill I'm going to die on. All right. I need everybody to listen closely. Cranberry sauce out of the can, baby. Got to come out. I don't want none of that natural crap. I don't need somebody spending 2 hours trying to make cranberry sauce. Give me it right out of the can. I want it. The cheaper, the better. Give me the value. What time is it? Value time, baby. Give me that stuff.
Yeah. If you don't pick it up from Dollar General the morning of Thanksgiving, I don't want it.
If it's not 2 for $3, we don't want it. Let's go.
I want my cranberry sauce to take me back to that trailer park day in Springfield, Kentucky, aka Cumberland, Kentucky. Shout out the 606. Got a couple, probably got a couple of those, Emilio, when we went to Red Deck Broad. But yeah, take me back to the trailer park. I gotta have the canned cranberry.
Jordan says if it doesn't have the ribs in it, it's a wrap. I don't want it. It doesn't have the rib.
It's got to come out looking just like the can that it was in. Otherwise, we don't want it.
I want that stuff shaking like Jacob's employees over there. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be shaking out the can. Look at Donovan Schilling. Canned is GOAT. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Jason Wise says the rest of us eat our cranberry sauce with one pinky up. See, you lose holler cred. You heard of street cred. You lose holler cred back home when you eat that stuff, man. You got to be careful with it. So. Doug says, Clayton, you want the full jelly version on the or the loose berries and thick jam, man. I'm telling you, got to have the can. You got to have the jelly version, man. Yeah, got to.
If there's berries in there, that means it's fresh. We don't want any of that.
Yeah. Tatchison's got it right here, boy. 3 days later, make you a turkey sandwich, spread that stuff like jam.
Yeah,
right, let's go, dude. You kidding me? I'm ready for the turkey comb. I'll tell you what else I'm ready for, boys. Let's do a giveaway here, man. I feel like it's been forever since we've done a giveaway. And this one is going to be a Josh Jacobs jersey card, all right? So this was
nice.
I'm trying to think if this was Rick Kruger that donated this. I think it was. It may have been Bates. I apologize. But this is a Max Impact Prism card, Josh Jacobs, all right, from Panini. And it's got a patch of the jersey in the card. Really cool piece of memorabilia. So what we do here.
Emilio, how many times did you sneak into this giveaway, man? How many times?
I've tried to get in there 3 times. I think Clayton only allowed 1. But hey, if I win it, it's coming home with me, baby.
Yeah, well, you better have a buddy down there in Maryville that we can mail it to because I know your address, sir. All right, all I got to say.
Scared money don't make money.
If you guys are wondering what the hell we're doing here and you're new here, we just like to give back to those who are supporting the channel. So if you're a member in the Patreon group, we put everybody's name on the wheel and give away pieces of memorabilia out of my stash here at home. And also, if you're a member on YouTube, we include those folks in here as well, man. Just a fun little way, like I said, to give back to those who have supported the channel. So somebody in the chat, give me a number between 1 and 10, and no, we're not using 6, 7.
How about these hands?
He says 6, 7. Ain't happening. From 1 to 10, guys. Oh,
4. Wait, we got a 4 in there.
Got multiple 4s. Let's do it. We're going to shuffle it 4 times so y'all can't accuse me of being rigged, even though you will anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's spin this sucker. The winner of the Josh Jacobs jersey card is
big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy.
Bungie Cheddar Bug.
Here's the guy.
Bungie Cheddar Bug, come forward and get your prize. So reach out to me on Patreon with a direct message. Or you can shoot me, if you're not on Patreon and you're a member in YouTube, shoot me a text, 865-658-5824. That is the Packer Fan Total Access hotline that we don't give out often because I get harassed on it occasionally. So, but yeah, Donovan Schilling said, that's Clay's burner. If I've ever heard one, you're probably right. So, and again, if you guys want to support what we do here, the best way to do so is just join our Patreon community, patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. Let's get that pinky off the thing before I throw up. It's patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. $3 get you access to the site, everything on there. The Christian Watson stuff that we showed you earlier, it was up there earlier today, so you get that firsthand or first first dibs on it, and then you're kind of prepped for the show that night. We also got multitude of chats. We got fantasy leagues going in there as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a growing community, and just want to say how much I appreciate everybody in there. So, boys, appreciate y'all's time tonight. This was a lot of fun.
100%. Appreciate you.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We'll break down at some point. We'll break down our defense against our offense. I may do that early in the day, and we'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow as well. So, everybody, thank you so much for the time. Thank you, Older Than Dirt. Appreciate it. Says great job, guys. Take care. Thank you all so much. So, Dirt McGirt. It's a $3.99 per minute service on the hotline. Come on now, you're gonna get the feds after me now. That is not true, Turt. Okay, gotta be careful with that. So, all right, everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Like I said, hit like, subscribe, click that bell icon for us, and everybody have a wonderful evening. Emilio, give them the creepy Jacob wave.
Bye.
There we go.
Bye, guys.